in the middle of the afternoon, sunshine, delicious, and just fun, all goes together. And here she is. Ha-ha! You little devil. Kwarli!
Hi.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm really well, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about some of the wonderful things you're involved in, because you are, shall we say, diverse
I am.
in your appeal.
Very eclectic.
And very colourful, I have to say, lovely feathers. I never knew there were pink chicken. It must have been scary.
From another planet, that's
Yeah,
all.
exactly. Yeah. Planet?
Planet Kwarli.
Yes, yeah, there you go. So, tell us a little bit, come on,
Okay, so
unveil,
I'm Kwarli
reveal.
Kumara. Hari Bhajan is my spiritual name. I'm Kwarli Kumara, and I teach Kundalini Yoga and Gong meditation, and I work with my beautiful Serpent. So I'm a serpent healer and rescuer, and
Slow down, that's a serpent as in snake.
as in snake, real life, lovely, beautiful, not slimy but gorgeously slithery snakes. Yeah, and I help people to get over their fear of snakes, and so
You help people get over the fear of snakes.
yeah. And there's lots
What,
of
like
people with fears
Constrictors
of
and anacondas.
constrictors,
and,
royal pythons.
dear.
My largest one is 13.5 foot. She's very beautiful, very bright. She's yellow and delicious, Burmese python. So basically I work with the technology of Kundalini Yoga to provide a safe and sacred space for people to be able to overcome their fears of serpents and whatever else they're scared of, because the snake is the symbol of transformation. So we're working really to release fear and transform negativity, and obviously for the serpents we're helping them as well, because they've got lots of karma to shift from many years of negativity and bad press, shall we say. So it's my job to heal the snakes and offer them the opportunity to be in that environment.
But snakes are part of the ecosystem. If it wasn't for them, things wouldn't get cleaned up in various parts of forests or jungles. So they actually do serve quite an important part of breaking down the environment and making things happen, and then passing what was maybe a dead animal out through the back end and into the ground.
And they're the closest thing to the earth other than the insects. So
They
they really
are.
are the deepest connection to the goddess, which is part of the reason that they've been suppressed and oppressed. So the awakening of the divine feminine energy, which is happening now, it's only natural that snakes are going to take their stage. And I'm providing that stage for them so that people can understand them on a much deeper level, because we've all got a spiritual energy inside us called the Kundalini, which is serpentine by its very nature. So the idea of actually working with live serpents to harness that Kundalini life force that's within every one of us, for me it's intrinsically linked, the Kundalini yoga and an actual serpent.
How did you find that you had a connection with snakes?
Well,
I'm intrigued.
It is actually interesting, because I was given my first snake by someone that had a personal pet and couldn't look after it at the time, and I had already created a bond with that, having overcome my own personal fear. I wasn't not obviously scared of snakes until I was confronted with the situation of the snake in the house had actually escaped from its tank, and I was the one to have to find it and pop it back into its tank. And then I realised, when I finally found it after a big search and the lights went off like in the movies and it was just me and the snake in the dark looking for each other, in the morning I actually found it all tangled up around the leads of the TV. So it was in that moment where I thought, I'm not so sure how I feel about picking you up and putting you back in the tank. So I realised that there was this deep fear within all of us, and on some level there's this connection with snakes, that it brings up this kind of very, very primal respect, really, because things that we fear is because we have so much respect for them. So we did our little psychic communication, and that's when I realised that they could actually communicate with you in that way. And that was my first sort of experience, when I then was like, I'm going to have to pick you up and we're going to put you back in the tank, and that's going to be fine, isn't it? And then, the snake answered me, and we did our thing, and we had a cuddle, and then we became best friends. And then the guy whose snake it was said, would you like to keep the snake? And I said, well, I'd love to, but I'll have to rename her. And I renamed it Kundalini. And then when that snake passed, because I knew that was the only name for a snake, because it means Kundalini.
Very you.
Very you. And
yes.
then when that serpent passed away, I decided I was going to dedicate my life to that snake and the energy and what I've experienced and the teachings that snake had given me. And then I took up Kundalini Yoga, and now I'm a teacher. I've been for 10 years. So my teaching path and my connection to snakes happened at very, very connectedly together. So for me now to be given permission by my teacher to be able to take live snakes into my Kundalini special workshops, not every class, you don't get snakes from every class, it's a very special work that I do, and it's really for the right people that are ready for it.
Yeah, you've got to be ready for it, but I think it's also extremely brave of you.
It's very,
some people are terrified.
Absolutely, and it's very sensitive work, it's very delicate work, that's why I keep it quite underground, and it's quite, small groups, so that I know that I can really properly look after everybody energetically, because obviously there's a lot of souls on my watch, as in the people, and then there's the snake souls as well, and then there's always going to be a different chemistry that happens each time we do the serpent healing ceremonies. But every time, so far, I've never managed to fail in getting someone over their fear, because of the way that the ceremonies are worked. So we prepare the person, no matter how scared they are, we prepare them with the Kundalini, with the meditation, and then by the end of the ceremony they're kind of warming up to the fact that they're going to meet a snake perhaps, and then no one's forced to hold a snake or meditate with a snake. It's really entirely up to them. But we take the hysteria out of it, you see, by chanting and using mantra when we're actually introducing the snakes to the students. So there's no, I'm scared of snakes because my mum is scared of snakes, which happens because that's the ego mind just doing its thing when it's it thinks it's much more scared than it is, but generally it's just programming, like with everything. We've had it programmed in us to be scared, and it's just about dismantling that programming, finding out exactly why it is you're scared. And education, knowledge is power. When people understand a snake, they see it in action, they realise, oh, actually it's very beautiful, very calm, and it's the master yogi, hence why Shiva, Lord Shiva himself, was always depicted with a cobra around his neck in all of the images we see of like the gods and goddesses in India. They were always, held in such a high esteem. It's only really the Western world and all the bad press they had with the Adam and Eve story that's really put them on the back foot.
But besides that, you get involved in doing other things and pulling, I think you can safely say, people from all kinds of directions in wellness and well-being together, don't you?
I do.
And you thoroughly enjoy doing it.
I absolutely do. I love nothing more than seeing people that I think are amazing and with such awesome contributions deliver their magic to the world. So I curate Mind, Body, Spirit. I curate the ceremony space there for them, and I just love to see people shine, and I love to bring the family together and make everyone realise that
And you've done this for more than a couple of years.
3 years, I think. Yeah, 3 years. So it's absolutely so much fun, and I hope to continue to do it because, and not only are all these beautiful people, a lot of them are my friends that I've been seeing over the years coming in, blossoming and opening their petals, and then obviously I'm finding new people, and there's so much amazing spiritual talent out there, as you know, because you meet a lot of them as well. We have a lot of the same friends, so this is quite a landmark for us to actually meet.
Yes. I've heard of you, you heard of me, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's him again. Yeah,
and now I'm on your sofa, finally.
Yeah, indeed. But you and I are trying to combine in ceremony space to bring some attention to different people, a bit of music, a bit of thing. Shall we talk to people about that? Because it's something that we're doing together, and we'd like you to take part in, if you wouldn't mind. It's at 42 Acres in Shoreditch. On the Thursday, the 15th of October, ceremony space, we have Kwarli, and we also have a load of other people as well.
So the first one's the 11th of October, which is this Thursday, which is tomorrow, and then the next one is the 15th of November.
Yes.
And then they're going to continue monthly after that, so they won't fall on the same Thursday every month, but they will be around a monthly event, and it will be always on a Thursday evening.
It will be. And
a couple of hours.
Come along and be amazed, astounded, but most of all engaged, because there's some things along that you won't have thought you'd see. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
And I'm going to say that I'd really love it if you'd come and share the ceremony space with us, because I think it's so important for us to come together in ceremony, and I'm surprised such an event like this hasn't happened on this kind of forum before, because with so many different people out there and such a new wave of spiritual, amazing, insightful teachers, healers, practitioners, singers, dancers. there's it's like a real treasure box, a Pandora's box, shall we say?
I would say a Kwarli box myself.
Oh, well, there we are, even better, I like that one. Yeah, a Kwarli box of treasures that we found at the bottom of the ocean, and we're going to open them for the ceremony space, and we'd love you to come and be a part of it, because it's a real magical meeting of minds. I'm so happy to be working with you on this. It's really exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
It's come together really well,
It has.
and we're terribly pleased to be able to say it's going on, and it'll go on till early part of next year.
And then beyond, if you'll have us, if you watch, if you support it, hopefully it will continue to go on, and we can share the love with more and more people.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you for having me, and I shall see all of you at the ceremony.